All right. Hello, and welcome to the weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream here on twitch.tv/DDO stream, youtube.com/Dungeons & Dragons/live, and facebook.com/DDO Unlimited. I'm in the office, amazingly, despite like 20 inches of snow, literally, that fell outside of my house yesterday. I want to thank the neighbor with a big snow machine for helping me actually clear out my driveway. I hope y'all are doing okay. If you were in the path of the nor'easter, hope everything went well for you. I am going to be on Lamania today. We have got our first preview of Update 38 on Lamania. Not a content preview, a systems preview this time around. We do have a content preview coming up in the relatively near future, probably next week or so. We'll stay tuned. QA will be on top of that kind of thing. All right. Hope you're having a good time. Hope you got all the party favors you wanted. Sorry if you didn't. A quick reminder that the gift, the cake, will continue to populate into your inventory through April 1st. Once it's in your inventory, you can use it regardless of time, but after April 1st, things will no longer populate into your inventory. So, if you got some characters that you think might want that cosmetic 12th birthday gift or anniversary gift, go ahead and log them in between now and April 1st. Or through April 1st. Shut off early the morning of April 2nd. 54 degrees in Houston. Aw, I want to be in Houston. Anyway, yep, I am on Lamania today, so I'm going to be showing off a few things like release notes, playing around with some Artificer stuff, and otherwise just kind of doing what you would like me to do. So, let me actually start off. Let's kind of go over some of the release notes here for Update 38. Now, keep in mind that some of these notes were a little bit rushed out because the snowstorm was upcoming on Tuesday, which is when we were normally going to have Lamania updated, so we had to rush on Monday night to get all this stuff out there. So some of the numbers may be off, some of the things are certainly missing from it. I'm actually going to have to go more extensively through our entire list of change lists dating back to the middle of Ravenloft development to make sure I didn't miss anything. But here's some of the big stuff that's going to be happening. First off, Update 38's Adventure Pack is going to be called Disciples of Rage. We're not giving away too many spoilers on it, so the basic teaser is the beacon that looms over Stormreach's harbor is known as the Emperor. That's the one that people like to jump on by the big light source there and send it in as a screenshot of the week frequently. For as long as humanoids have lived there, the Emperor has stood, and the beacon it holds has shone brightly both night and day. However, a faction of the Cult of the Dragon below is plotting. Stay tuned for more information and a preview of the Adventure Pack. There's kind of some big story stuff happening in this Adventure Pack, so that's why we're kind of going light on the info. Alright, classes. The big thing for this preview on Lamania is Artificer and Druid and some miscellaneous stuff. So on the Artificer, I'm not going to go entirely through all the notes just because they are available to read and they're pretty extensive. However, we have changed Construct Essence to grant Construct Species typing. It's at level 12 and available as an Artificer class feat. That's the one that basically gets you extra repair, even if you're not a Warforged. Construct Exemplar is now adding Repair Amplification and 10 MRR. You can take it at character level 20+. If you're an Artificer, you can now get Combat Expertise as a class feat. That's kind of nice. That's one of the yellow feats you get to pick for free, so to speak, every once in a while. We've done a bunch of changes to curative admixtures. Like I said, we actually interviewed Steel Star about this a while back, so I'm not going to go too much into it, but in general, curative admixtures have had their spell point costs adjusted, their caster levels adjusted, their tooltips corrected, and now their conjuration spells. We no longer have the Druid or Iron Defender pets damage you when they die, and then we have the new Renegade Master Maker tree. On the Druid, animal forms are doing a whole bunch of stuff. Like I say, it's pretty complicated, but if you are a Druid player, you'll want to read this sort of thing. We actually have a separate thread on Lamania specifically for the Druid, because Torka is doing a lot of work still on Druid. So we would really appreciate your testing of this stuff, actual testing on Lamania if you can, and provide feedback to that. We did update the enhancement trees on all the Druid stuff, and then we've added a new bear form tree called Nature's Protector. I think bears should be in a pretty good place. All said and done. I can hear it now. When are the bear dies? It's something we want to do, and I think we actually are. It's been a while coming, but I think we are going to have bear dies. It's not going to be in time for update 38, though, but I do think it's going to happen at some point. Character dual-wielding weapons will now do full normal damage while moving. This came up as part of our DPS testing that led to some of the kind of monk adjustments. But that should make a pretty big difference for dual-wielders out there. As we've said, we've adjusted a bunch of the Henshin Mystic core melee power. That's part of that monk change there. We've upped the melee power in basically all of the cores except for Legendary Dreadnought. We will now give you Scrolls of Curative Admixture, Cure Critical, and Treasure. That allows Artificers to memorize it if they don't want to select it. Fix a Sentient Jewel issue, where they weren't playing all the voices we had recorded, particularly when filigree and jewels are slotted or unslotted, and that's now fixed. Yep, we nerfed duality. Sorry. That was our mistake. One of the nice changes, and this has come up fairly regularly since the release of Update 37, we made a change so that the teleportation NPCs were inside of the tavern, but that was causing an issue where if you recalled out of a quest, instead of going back to the tavern, you were going to House Jarasco. So we've now fixed that for Update 38, so you're now going to go back to the tavern from whence thine came. We're also adding some exit sign waypoints to the Blue Water Inn, and fix an issue where the wrong ambient sounds. We're playing an Evening Star and Evening Star Cavern. There's a couple of people saying, Hallelujah! One thing that I don't think is actually in this Lamania preview, but will be coming, is NPC Dialogue boxes will now appear to the upper right of the screen. Why are we doing this? Well, it was bugging someone on the team that basically these boxes were showing up and hiding your character, so you always had to move it over all the time if you wanted to see what your character looked like and that. It's just kind of a minor lore thing, but the NPC dialogue boxes will now not hide your character. We also are fixing an issue with the launcher. Particularly since the release of Windows 10, there's been an issue where even though theoretically the current DirectX is backwards compatible, in practicality it isn't. So people have been having to install the DirectX web runtime in order to get the DDO and Lotro game clients to play on new Windows 10 installations. So now we're going to be bringing that into the launcher itself. So the DirectX web installer will now be installed along with the launcher, so that it'll actually install those backwards compatible versions of DirectX rather than just the new one on your launcher. We have also added the DirectX install to your repair tab, so if you need to run that command, you don't have to go to the Microsoft website and download it and run it from there. It's actually part of our repair tab now. Fix an issue with the Akamai SDK on a Mac installation. That's just going to help Mac clients run a little bit better. Added a link to the character transfer guide from the Transfer Wizard. That was a long-standing request. And yes, I know that the character transfer guide needs to be updated. That's on my plate to do as well. The DDO installation path no longer includes the turbine reference. I think that It isn't clear to me whether that's going to change for your current installation or if you reinstall, but I'll try to get an answer on that one. Typically, it's pretty hard to rename things in your folder by fiat, so to speak, just due to security and other reasons. But you can do that work yourself. And maybe it'll happen automatically. I'm not sure. I need to talk to our engineer on that. Also, an Explore Log folder menu option has been added to the game launcher, so it'll open the folder where the launcher and game client logs are placed. So that's kind of nice. So if you need to figure out, well, where the heck's my DDO installation, there's now going to be a menu option right on the game launcher to take you straight to it. All right, now, like I say, I know that there's a whole bunch of stuff missing from these notes. I know there is, just because I haven't had time to go through it all, and some of the numbers in that are going to get tweaked. But we do have this open for Lamania right now. And so hopefully you'll get a chance to preview it for a little bit longer. I wanted to show off just a couple of the changes that we have coming here. Oh, my ability score is too low. Let me advance my ability score. Okay. So you are going to need potions for all these things except for, I believe, it's cure critical. Let me double check if that's correct or not. Yes. Curative admixture cure critical wounds does not require actual potions because they're just a little bit too hard to get. So instead, you can just cast it, which is actually kind of nice. We have heard the recommendation by people that we adjust and make it available to. I may need to talk to our art department a little bit as to the placement of where we are throwing those bottles of curative admixtures. But no. But no. Sorry, I'm losing it. Yes. We have heard that you want Quicken. I think that there's going to be some possibility that it might happen. But by the time you can get the Cure Critical admixture, you can make these substitute potions with a spell, so why not require a potion for it? I think it's just to make it easy so you don't have to, if you don't want to. How's my computer rig holding up in my place? Excellent. My computer rig is rocking. Alright, so let me just real quick. You can see this is the new Renegade Master Maker. Obviously, most of our icons are not yet done on this version of preview for it, so that's why it has these kind of stub icon previews there. We have gone through the Renegade Master Maker tree with Seal Star, so I would recommend that you just take a look at that. But overall, we have some pretty good stuff. We even have Curative Admixture SLAs, and that's kind of nice too. This one is actually pretty useful, this embed component. It gives you, if you have Construct Essence, which you probably should if you're an Artificer now, you'll get MRR Constitution and other sorts of things. There's a whole line of this stuff that's pretty useful. The 5th core stuff is pretty good too. Let me kind of show this one off too. I want to make sure it's actually in the build. It's theoretically possible it might not be. But let me see what we got. I think it's Kinetic Discharge, is that it? Got instant fix, which is kind of useful. Here we go. This is the one I'm looking for. So it's basically an aura that'll come around and heal you, and you've got these little wards that are going to be above your head and such too. But it's basically a repair version of the Radiant Servant aura, so I think that's going to be pretty useful. What do I got for... Oh, you guys can't see my stream. Yeah. Oh, crap. Blah. There we go. Okay, so Regeneration Construct. There it is. Anyway, let me show off the curative admixture that I think we need to fix. Boink. Yes, I do think that's going to probably end up getting a fix before we go live with it. Ugh. Man, it has just been a crazy couple of days, what with snowstorms and such. Such an idiot. I know you are, man. Yes. So you can actually, as you can see, you can actually have a couple of drones around you as well. Let's see how many drones I can get. Already have the warding construct. Pretty useful stuff there. Action boost, max hit points, repair. I'm just giving myself a few more stuff in the trees. That looks like we're not quite Artificer level 18. Am I not 18 yet? I thought I was all the way up to 20. Oh, nope, I'm only 15. That explains what's up. Alright. I'm just, you know, it doesn't really matter what I pick for these things because I'm on my admin, so I'm just kind of grabbing things. Yep, this is how us admins often do it. Because you can pick any spell you want. I can do anything I want. I'm a god! Ha 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 ha! Quicken. Alright, there we go. Now, yeah, there we go. Now I can take this. Which is the Radiant Force Field, SLA, and then the Unbreakable Force Field. Oh, really? Oh. There we go. Alright, groovy. Let me see. Can I spawn the Timid Jewel? Yeah, I should be able to. That's a good question. I have actually not heard that yet. I should probably do that. To mid. There we go. I think I need myself to get myself a item that I can use with it as well. Okay. The only epic heavy repeater I've been able to add sentience to is the one from Ravenloft. I've gone to the wiki to see why and could find no explanation what gives. I mean, it should be any of the named repeaters above level 20. And yes, for the next couple of weeks, we're actually kind of off European time by an hour, because we've moved our clocks ahead this week, or this weekend, this past weekend. And Europe doesn't really do it for a couple weeks yet. So we're in this weird state where instead of, say, France and Germany being 6 hours ahead of us, they're above us by 5. Can we finally fix the issue where you can't move the examination UI? You can move the examination UI. What are you talking about? Examine. I'm going to say yes. I was just able to move it. Is this a PG stream? Sure. How many of those skills need some artwork? I know at least some of them do. Is Crystal Cove on the horizon? Yes, it is. We'll be scheduling it in the near future, but Update 38 does include the updates to Crystal Cove items already. So. I picked Blade Barrier over Deadly Weapons. I'm dead to me. Well, that's because I can just give myself Deadly Weapon if I need it. Why do you call it blink speed when it's not even doing a teleport? You're just running super fast? The reason is, this is super speed, but in feats, blink speed is actually something else, because we have blink. Let me show you what that one does. This is an admin command. So wherever my cursor goes is where I'm going to blink to. So I can go pop. And I'm on the ceiling. You can actually cause yourself some real problems there if you're not careful. Because you can get yourself in a state that you're actually out of the game world or something like that. And that can be problematic. It's pretty handy though. Alright. Epic Fatal Flaw works. Cool. The new bear attack animation is not as good as the old animation, more like a tiger. Wish we could keep the old animation but increase attack speed like in the tree form. Okay. We'll be taking a look at Druid here in just a little bit. Any chance the level 30 animated Scarecrow from the Collector's Edition Ravenloft will get some healing amplification? The level 27 healer hireling will empty their spell points trying to heal them for nothing. Yeah, I've noticed that as well. We should do that. It's a good call. I asked this last week, but double daggers, single dagger doesn't work with weapon versatility. Is this as intended? Do I know? I do not. Gonna actually have to... Can a developer chime in on weapon versatility and Vistani? Your melee and missile attacks use the higher of melee or ranged power. So that sounds like, yes, that should be working. with weapon versatility. Double daggers doesn't work. When so it sounds like it just sounds like there's a bug where the plus 20 melee power of a single dagger portion of double dagger is not actually providing any melee or ranged power. So you're getting it basically with ranged power, most likely. But it's just bugged, that particular single dagger of double daggers. Well, that's according to the wiki. But I assume that Steel Star is aware of that. Alright, when are we going to see the Cult of Vecna? No comment. Will Crystal Cove item update be retroactive or farm the new item to get? They are going to... I guess I'm not sure what you mean by retroactive. You're going to have to earn and get the new upper tier levels of them. So I guess not retroactive. You're still unable to make a Dragonborn race character. Does anyone else have this problem? The avatar won't load. That is a very strange one, Bruce. I don't know what to tell you on that. I can make Dragonborn. I'm playing one right now. Single dagger only works with non-throwing daggers at the moment. Okay, well... So thrown daggers are missile weapons. So that would probably be a design choice. Because a single... It should probably specify single dagger melee as opposed to single dagger ranged. I heard Cyclonic Blast is bugged. I don't know about that one. I don't use DDO Wiki as always an official source, but I do when I'm standing behind a computer and don't have access to the devs. Forgotten Light level 25 is not taking sentient jewels. Can we get that looked at? Okay. Does anyone know if you have spell sight on, say, boots, and also another item, if those numbers stack when both items are equipped, or does whichever is higher take effect? It will be... Let me look up DDO spell sight here. It'll be whatever the bonus is of spell sight. So, spell sight looks to be a competence bonus. So any other non-competence bonuses to the spellcraft skill will stack with it. But any competence bonuses to the spellcraft skill, the highest will apply. Next Mimic Hunt, I think we're actually going to be doing that relatively soon. Mostly due to player want. The new Druid Pass will be in this update. Yep, that's the plan. Can we have Body Feeder put back in Caneth Crafting? Yeah, I should be able to. That would make sense. Alright, let me quick move on over to a Druid. And we could show off a few of the Druid things. I'll show that, Dude. Actually, let me, before I do that, let me see if we actually have a pre-made Druid that would be useful. So, for those who don't know, these are actually a bunch of demo characters. They were initially created for use at things like PAX East and that sort of thing. But they're fairly useful. Beyond that, I don't actually see any Druids there, though. Alright, I'm gonna have to do that the old-fashioned way, then. Oh, be a Dragonborn. Because why not? No bear die with the update, it's true. No bear die with the update. Like I say, I'm just quick rolling this character because it doesn't really matter what I have. For it is all good on an admin. Will our enhancements be reset with the update? I'm going to have to check on that, but I would assume the answer is probably yes if you are an artificer or a druid. I'm going to assume we will probably reset your enhancements so that you can deal with that stuff. That what you need to. When are we going to get the damaged part of riposte back? Probably not. I have not heard of any plans to do that. Where's our druid trainer? There we go. I will go into bear form here, at the initial wild shape, just to show that off. So you can see the 2 hit on that is actually quite a bit stronger. Let me just, actually I'll just go over to the Kobold. The attack speed on bear is similar to regular attack speed now. I can actually move my camera on this client, so let me actually show that. Any word on when Vistani will be released in the in-game store? I have not heard of any plan to release it on the in-game store. My understanding is Vistani is meant to be either purchased through Ravenloft or unlocked through Favor. But I will double check with the store team and see what they want to do on that. Alright. So there's bear stuff. And yes, you can see this has not gone into effect yet. Normally that NPC dialogue will kind of move. I think it's going to be somewhere like there. Just so that it doesn't block your character. Now let me show wolf form here. Because a wolf form hasn't really changed that much, but I don't actually know if it's changed at all. Okay. I have a ton of stuff from Caneth Manufactory last night. Are they worth the trip back for anyone? I was in the Caneth Manufactory last night as well. You know, I'd say that there's some value in the auction house for that stuff because it means people don't need to run that content if they don't want to. I was actually getting ready to flag for Lord of Blades Master Artificer on Atlantis last night. Druid elemental text has not been updated to show the new changes. Are we just not that far yet? Correct. Correct. There's still a whole bunch of kind of UI elements and text changes and things like that that did not get into this kind of first, particularly early Lamania build. Are there any options in the future to have a test dojo but to create dungeons and publish in the server? No. Player created content is cool. We'd like to do it, but it's just not on our agenda. This is still on. LOM stuff will be 99% before they shut down LOM. Okay. So I think part of why the bear has new animation is to deal with the attack speed issue. The kind of stand attack that they used to have didn't look right when you speed it up in the way that we need to do for bear form. You know, one of the big reasons people didn't play bears very much is the attack speed was just kind of bad. And so by mitigating that, by bringing the attack speed to normal, it necessitated some changes in our animation flow. Okay. Why does the store fail to open from time to time? It sometimes opens a new browser without implementing the store. That I don't know. I mean, in general, if the store is having, say, if it's down or something like that, you're going to get a blank page. But in general, it should just externally open to whatever browser you have set to be your default browser and then open up the store from there. So if you're having an issue with that, I would check to make sure you don't have any pop-up blockers or things that might impact your ability to have things open externally like that. I have a weekly gold roll. I do. Alright, just for fun. Alright, I'm just opening up a page here for some admin commands. Just a sec. There we go. I'm a big bear now. Oops. Going through the ceiling. There we go. All right. Can I spawn the timid jewel? Oh, you mean you want it on Lamania? Yeah, I could do that. I just what did I just put that? Alright, let me move my size back to what it should be. Sure is fun to do that, though. Merc. Alright. Fly, little bear, fly. I'm a flying bear. Yay. Watch as I crash Lamania. Alright. Can I also do the Kobold Gem? Titan, I'm not gonna do a creating stuff for fun through Twitch chat, please. I can barely fit. Ah, it's fantastic. Yeah. When is the next update coming live? It'll be after our Lamani preview's done. Stay tuned on that. Probably within a month. I can also make myself super tiny. I'm a tiny little bear. Look at me. I'm a tiny little bear. This bag is... I can hide in a bag. But yes, let me take care of the Kobold Jewel. Sentient Jewel of the Kobold, I think. Brum. Okay, this is cruel in a great way. Create, living, disintegrates. There we go. Why can't we have a hamster form? Do I know if things like combustion bonuses on an item stack? Well, my understanding is combustion bonuses is usually one specific kind of bonus, and so that would not stack. But similarly, you'll want to take a look at what the bonus type is. Same bonus types do not stack highest applies, unless it's an exceptional bonus. But even then, I don't think so. And then in general, you'll just, combustion I do not believe stacks. Let me check. I will double check on the calendars here in just a second. Or not. Fine. I will smite these living spells. It's true, I did. Alright, let me try this. Marketing. Alright, our bonus is... What day is it? I'll be the... Okay, so it looks like potentially we might actually launch the Mimic Hunt this week. And that would go for basically a full week until the next bonus went into effect, which is double daily dice and a 5% VIP boost. However, there is still an outstanding question about the Mimic Hunt related to an exploit. I don't quite know that we're going to address, so it's possible that may need to change. But my understanding is that is what we are planning to do. We actually do have one other thing we're planning to do for the Mimic Hunt here, and it's not going to be in time for this, but hopefully in the future. There's been some thought about making the Mimic Hunt opt-in rather than opt-out, so that we could bring it back more regularly without it being a pain to some people. So when the Mimic Hunt would be active, you would talk to an NPC to activate the Mimic Hunt, and then you would get mimics. As opposed to the current thing where you can basically get mimic bait and do it that way. We just had a bonus crafting XP weekend. Oh, not crafting XP. That was, never mind. That was challenge ingredients. Crafting XP, I don't know. No reason we can't. Let me see if I see it on the calendar here. Nope, I see a bunch of blanks in April. We haven't actually filled it out yet. I'll put that on the agenda. Well, I mean, the bait still works. Like I said, that will not be in time for this next Mimic Hunt. So feel free to use the bait then. What about the private instance for Night Revels? That work hasn't been done yet, but that's the intention. I could call the two forms Ursa Major and Ursa Minor. I like it. I like it a lot. Are there plans to add different animal forms? No. Alright, let me see what other trouble I can get up to on Lamania here. Flat Strahd. Oh, that's not gonna work. Let's see. Nope. Nope, that's not going to work. Unfortunately, it's not working. The Lord of Eyes won't work. Oh well. Okay, how about... Nope, that one won't work either. Well, let's see. Fortunately, let me see if the chat's got some great suggestions for me here. Really want the Cloak of the Mimic, yep. Or all the plinkety-plinks of the Crossbow and Sue, yep. When are we getting Bear Dies? It's something that's on our agenda, but we don't have an actual formal time for it yet. Anyone know the history of create ranking guilds not being functional? Yeah, that was attempted... we had attempted to do that years and years ago, but it broke everyone's guild naming, so we had to revert it. And ever since then, we just have opted not to bring it back. Because we basically need to start fresh. When are the remnant rewards going to change? It's an ongoing thing. We intend to offer new remnant rewards periodically. I don't know when the next time will be, but I've heard us talk about, well, we should put that in the remnants vendor recently, so it wouldn't surprise me if we saw something in the near future. Have we asked Chris Perkins to narrate content yet? I can't talk about that kind of thing. You need mysterious bracers. Can we have a Remnant Hunter weekend soon? Yeah, I'll put that on the agenda too. Spawn several of the CR30 dragons. Oh yeah, I could do that. What's the name of the dragon? I wonder if that'll work. Sinvala. There we go. Man, they took care of Sinvala in seconds. Seconds. We need Snoop Dogg to narrate. I am down for that. I will look at the Necklace of the Glib Tongue. That doesn't sound right to me. There was not a ranking system from the start. The ranking system at the start of guilds was what it is now. There was an attempt to change it to allow for custom rank titles, but it screwed up things where it just wasn't working right, and so the whole plan had to get scrapped. And if we were to bring that back, it would be rebuilding it from the ground up. Why did I interrupt Ed Greenwood when doing the interview for the Haunted Halls? Oh, I'm sorry. I tried to be careful not to interrupt Ed Greenwood. Ed likes, you know, he will talk a long time, which is great. But we only had an hour set aside for the entire interview recording process that included the in-game kind of commentary. And so when we did the in-game commentary first, and then whatever was left of that hour, I did the interview that I was able to then put onto YouTube and that. So if I did interrupt him, it was probably in an effort to get some of the questions in as best as we could with the time remaining. But I'm sorry, I haven't listened to that interview in a while, but I'm sorry if I rudely interrupted Ed Greenwood. That was not my intention. I like that guy. He is awesome. Okay, how about Cholthuls? Can I spell Cholthuls? No. Yes. Many Cholthulses. I will, so I know that that's come up a lot on the forums about the Vistani Dagger Tree. I'm going to double check with our e-commerce team and see what their intention is with the Vistani Dagger Tree, and let you guys know in terms of whether it's intended to be in the DDO store or not. The problem about doing the Cordovan from the anniversary event is it doesn't work. Looks like I have to manually delete Cholfulses. Because of the way the scaling tech works there, I can only spawn them as like a level 1 Cordovan, and it just won't work very well. Let's see. Right in the doorway to the mailbox, auctioneer and hireling NPC. There you go. He's just sitting there, because see, his scripting isn't working. That's why the Black Abbot's just sitting there. Mostly, in general, raid bosses don't function very much. Yeah, so Tone Station has got a show this evening. Now, he is one of our newest streamers to DDO stream, so that's very cool. If you have not checked out Tone Station's show at night, you should tonight. It'll be a good one. How about... Let's see if this one works. Always a good thing to say when you're going to be spawning something on one of our game worlds. Let's see if this works. Are we ever going to get other animal forms for druids? It's not been something that is high on our to-do list. It would be a lot of work, and I just don't know if I see it happening. You just tuned in to get an update on the turntable? Nice. The turntable is working good, although it has a little bit of motor hum through the tone arm. So this week, actually, I used the snow day to re-ground it. I created a separate ground for the tone arm and hooked it to the regular grounding cable for the turntable. So I was reinforced the grounding on it, and now it works fine. I think I could do that one. Let me see if that works. And that'll be the last one here for today. Yeah, Locellus works. We'll see if Locellus actually disappears after being killed. So when you unlock Vistani Dagger Tree on the character from the favor vendor, does it remain on that character after a true reincarnation? Yes, it does. The ASMR Iconic is already in the store. It is currently available. A peg leg and pirate eye patch? I'm down for that. Where am I? I'm just on the on Lamania, putzing around and showing off a few things. So I would want to encourage folks that if you are interested in the Artificer and Druid updates, please actually go to the Lamania server, play around with the Druid. You'll find this test dojo here that'll make it really easy for you to level up your character and get XP. Play around with the enhancement trees, and then run a few dungeons to just kind of see how things work. Please do give us our feedback over on the Lamania forums, or you can file a bug report specifically for Lamania through help.standingstonegames.com. Alright, thank you very much for watching the weekly Wednesday Lunchtime live stream. I'll be back next week, most likely on Orion, and we'll be doing some leveling up on Orion there as well. Again, we've got Tone Station coming up tonight, along with a whole bunch of other streamers throughout the week, and you can find the full schedule over on twitch.tv/DDO stream. Hope everyone has fun, and I will see you again soon.